in 2003 we arrived here, and I'll never look back.
I look around Africa and I say, look at all these disabled kids. We could change their lives. It is reported that about 29,000 children die every day, most of these of preventable diseases, diarrhea, pneumonia, worms. Of the 29,000, I think 13,000 die in Africa every day. In many parts of Africa, children who are born with an overt disability, these children are hidden. They're ashamed to their parents, they're ashamed of their village, they're ashamed of their country. And sometimes, even in newspapers today in Kenya, they'll say, well, all of a sudden they've found a child who's 12 years old that the neighbors didn't even know existed. And most of these will come out and have been hidden so long that many times the damage is so great, there's not a lot to do for them. There's a lot of stigma attached with disabilities in this country. Good morning, Abadi. The work with disabled kids in Africa is extremely neglected. The work done in Kenya is probably the best in sub-Saharan Africa, except for possibly South Africa. And the work here is still very, very poor. Many of these mothers or fathers have taken their child to the local dispensary, the local hospital, the provincial hospital, and have already been told that there's nothing to be done.
I am 10 years old. I am very smart. I love school. I like to read. I was very sick. God healed me. I want to say thank you for Dr. Fransford. I love Vedani kids. I am a miracle.
My name is Francisca, and I'm born with a spina bifida. We are 8 in our family. I'm second born. Yeah, but they are all okay. They don't have any disability. I grew up in a village, back in a remote place, back in Samburu. It was really a place that nobody don't understand about what disability means. They don't have any information about disability. So they just believe that I'm a curse, you know. In our culture, they just put the poison, you know, some poison, and then they soak, and then they give a child who was born with a disability so they can kill. So when my mother found that I was to be killed, she ran away with me. I just went to school like a normal child, but it was really hard because the school was far. It's really hard for me to walk. I don't have friends in school. No one understands me. I was really leaking, you know, all wet because I don't have any bladder control. So nobody really wants to sit with me.
My name is Chad Wilson. I'm a general surgeon, and here in Kajabi Hospital, I'm one of the consultant surgeons, which means, like in the United States, that means I'm an attending or I'm a fully trained general surgeon. I was all over the map in what I wanted to do with my life. Initially, My thought in life was I wanted to be wealthy and not work too hard. And I was really good at math and science, and I wanted to study engineering. And my plan was I was going to have about 5 or 6 patents by the time I was, 35 years old, and be ready to retire when I was 40. I stayed in Texas and went to State College at the University of Texas at Austin for undergrad, studied chemical engineering. Worked for Exxon briefly as a chemical engineer, but didn't enjoy that. I thought about becoming a physician, but I heard they work too hard. I didn't want to work as hard as they did. But then it finally clicked to me that if you have a career that you really love, that's a true calling, then it won't feel like, even 40 hours a week is too much if you're not into it. So I quickly went to medical school in Maryland at Johns Hopkins and graduated from Johns Hopkins in 2001. And that's when I moved to Boston to do my surgical residency at Massachusetts General Hospital. By the time I finished, I really was committed that I wanted to take care of patients that other people really weren't that interested in taking care of. I initially thought this was something I was going to do at the tail end of my career, sort of when I was semi-retired. But as I was finishing my residency, it's all of a sudden seemed better that I go serve when I was young and energetic instead of waiting until I was old and my skills were declining and I couldn't see well. Surgery is exciting and adventurous regardless of where you are. But here it's sort of amplified because the patients come in sicker, the problems are more bizarre. It's also adventurous because you step out of your comfort zone. In the United States, I don't have to, like the case I just did, I was doing neurosurgery. And that's exciting for me. It's not exciting for a neurosurgeon because they do it all the time, but that's very adventurous for me because I wasn't really trained to do that. There's no better way you can spend your first year. I get to do a broad breadth of general surgery. I'm not in some box getting bored doing laparoscopic gastric bypass every day. I'm taking care of different variable things every day. It is a dream practice that any general surgeon would want. The main loss for a young surgeon to come out here is that they don't get to live in the United States and eat at fancy restaurants every day. If there were the right amount of funding, and people felt like they could come here without, putting their family in financial jeopardy, I can't imagine who wouldn't want to come and work here because you get to do what you were trained to do, and you really get to help people every day, and they're so appreciative. I just told the family of that guy I operated on that I just told this woman, your husband's brain dead. They were obviously, deeply mournful, but before I could get away, they were already saying, well, thank you for what you did. It's not so much the adventure was what I wanted. I just wanted to take care of people that really need a doctor. And in the United States, my skills are redundant. The United States does not miss me. I'm just another general surgeon, and I can easily be replaced. But here, without me, there would be people who would have problems who would not get care. It's confirmed to me all the time that I'm serving and doing what God designed me to do.